You're using the term artificial intelligence. What does that intelligence really mean?
With AI, you can actually solve poverty and energy. It can create a better society.
Companies understand that they need to adopt different kinds of robots and autonomy to reduce their dependence on manpower.
How autonomous is the drone?
People are not involved.
We all need to learn about computers, how AI can help you do your job better.
Everyone who engages with this topic, or scared or intrigued, no one's indifferent to it.
When we see the last 10 years, how they crushed all those human thresholds, people are afraid to lose control.
AI, artificial intelligence. The subject is being discussed almost in every home, in every coffee table around the world. Is it really a blessing or is it a curse? Is it really something we should support and develop, or is it something that we should stay away from it and not touch? It's like everything in life, even our gifts. The gift that God gives us can be a blessing or can be a curse. Israel, as a startup nation, took AI and brought it to a level of a blessing. There's no doubt that Israel is one of the countries that leads in AI, in fields like medicine, agriculture, science, even in the military. Let's watch together how this amazing innovation is a blessing to Israel and to the rest of the world.
It seems like wherever you look nowadays, you hear the words AI, and that shouldn't come as a surprise. This technology, the ability of computers to mimic and behave in a human pattern, stands to change the world we live in, change our productivity, change the way we develop technology, even change the shape of our society. So what is AI? Let's break down this term. Artificial intelligence is computers trying to learn the way the human brain operates. Traditionally, computers had a very linear thought process. You do or this or that. If this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do that. Now they're trying to teach the systems a much more human-like thought process, which is understanding a bigger world, more variables, more options, and considering and learning in the process what the right and best outcome is for the step. And it should come as no surprise that Israel is on the cutting edge of this technology too. Some of the most creative and innovative developments are coming out of this country. So today we're going deep into this story, the story of artificial intelligence in Israel. Why Israel?
In Israel, we are not spending too much time thinking about all the dots and all the risks. We are building it. We are driving the technology forward. We have an ecosystem to deliver great execution.
In terms of unicorn startups, Tel Aviv is among the 10 best universities in the world.
Can I try to push him over?
You want to try? Let's see.
That's impressive.
I tell you, he bites. He already bit me once.
The Tel Aviv University is on the forefront of AI education and research, not only in Israel, but in the world. So naturally, that's exactly where I went to meet with Professor Irad Ben-Gal, who leads Lambda, the university's lab for AI, machine learning, business, and data analytics.
So AI, in a way, is asking computers and software to perform tasks that usually are associated with the human being's mind. Predicting, reasoning, playing, many applications that some of them are already working in the industry.
Essentially, AI has been gradually advancing for over 70 years, progressing in 4 significant stages.
AI was invented in the late 50s at MIT with guys that realized that computers could probably be smarter as time passes. 20, 30 years later came machine learning. In machine learning, the intelligent part was done by a computer. 20 years ago, maybe even less, deep learning started to evolve, and in a period less than 10 years, could cross the human ability threshold in many areas. This is the time that it became evident that it will actually affect each person's life. And then you started to talk to your phone, your car was starting to interact with you, and all those companies like Google and Amazon and Facebook started to use those deep learning models. The fourth wave that we are seeing these days are those generative AI systems. They can now start to generate insights by themselves.
Today, AI permeates nearly every aspect of our lives, from our smartphones and cars to marketing, banking, medicine, writing, and so much more. Give us a couple examples of what your lab is working on right now.
My lab is focused on industrial applications. In many cases, we get an interesting question from the industry that can support a PhD or a master thesis. For example, we work with Stanford University on a sensor that will be built in our bodies, for example, in diabetic, and enable to learn much faster about the disease, both in that specific person, but also from a collection of people on how this disease evolved over time.
So this is predictive medicine versus symptom treating medicine, is it?
Yeah, they even call it prescriptive medicine because some of the sensors can also provide insulin based on your own fingerprint of the way that your body is behaving.
So more accurate, more efficient, more cost effective.
Yes. Another research is these small agents that are looking for targets. It can be autonomous ambulances that are looking for the next accident before the accident happens. Or if you think about police enforcement that want to move to area where they suspect that there will be some criminal activity. So the idea is based on the way that bees and ants, when they search for food and they give signal to each other, each entity behaves independently, but when you look at the group, they are working quite effectively. What you want to have is the ability to have, sensor fusion from different type of sensor, some kind of, a map, an information map, and then enable each robot in that swarm move independently. While doing so, also providing insights to the other robots and creating some kind of optimization for the swarm. Quite interesting results so far.
While Israel chooses to prioritize projects that benefit us, there are those who exploit technology for negative purposes. AI programs are being used to artificially boost and spread harmful narratives and false information. Shai, who's pursuing his master's degree at Irad's lab, is working to address this issue exactly.
My thesis is about identifying Twitter bots. We're trying to find those who try to influence or create disinformation in the network.
That's been at the headlines for years now.
Yeah.
Because you can use
That's not a new problem.
Yeah, and if you can use a server farm, if you can use a click farm, as we call them in social media, and you can manipulate the numbers on something, you're twisting reality. And what you're trying to do is to restore an accurate perception of reality.
And we're doing it with AI.
In summary, you're training a computer to find computers.
Definitely, yeah. And it's cool. Yeah, they do it a lot faster than us.
It's quite ironic.
Yeah.
When I started many years ago, actually we were solving problems where we didn't have enough data. Now we have the opposite problem. So we have too much data, but still some of those methods are used to find within this, blue ocean of data where to look for. If you crossed a certain threshold border, you did something new. It can be a large jump or a small one, but you push the borderline. The idea is that you do something that can improve and some good meaning.
Shalom, welcome back. Mati, the debate concerning AI is even more complicated. Is it good? Is it bad? I really believe that God will give each one of us the wisdom to determine what's right and what's wrong.
I mean, there's always that concern that technology can be used in the wrong way. It's just this constant game of making sure that you use it for the right things and not for the wrong things. But on a personal level, as a country, as a people, I mean, technology is constantly changing. And the positive that can come out of it in the ability to scan through information, in the ability to save time on research, to save time on pulling metadata out of like a huge bank of information will be life-saving. We have to use any technology in our hands, and I think that's a biblical decree. Every generation uses all the tools it has to the best of its ability, and the next one does even better the next time around.
When we think about the region we live in, and we think about the size of Israel, and the challenge of protecting us, there's no doubt that Israel needs to use and take advantage of any technology they can.
We have to be at the forefront of technology to make sure that this country remains strong and leading technological force in the future.
Amen. Let's continue watching.
Why is it that so much of this technology is happening in this country? I mean, you look at all these graphs of universities that are outputting startups, billionaires, Nobel Prizes. Why is that happening here?
The reason is the ecosystem here in Israel. This triangle between the army that actually recruit brilliant guys at very young age, academia, and the startups is working very closely. This creates an ecosystem bounded in a region of 20 kilometers, square 20 kilometers around Tel Aviv University. We have 800 units just 2 kilometers from here, and all the startup, the Israeli Silicon Valley here. This, of course, attracts investors and so on. I hope that recent events in Israel won't disrupt it, but right now it seems that it's working, and we hope that it will continue that way.
If we jump 10 years into the future, what changes on our everyday life? Are we now not driving our cars? Are we not seeing a doctor? Are we seeing a computer instead of a specific professional? What is going to change?
In general, in 10, 20 years, many of the tedious tasks that are done could be done by autonomous mechanism, driving, cleaning in a much more efficient way. In a way, even we can encounter a situation where each one of us will have his own avatar, meaning 80% of your job will be done by your avatar.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh.
Because if I'm thinking about it, more time riding my bike, more time spending time with the family, sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, it's a philosophical question. As long as you control it, basically, you can say that you are safe. But what happens when suddenly those programs can develop some kind of self-consciousness?
You tell me, what is the definition? You're using the term artificial intelligence. Where do you draw the line on intelligence?
I can definitely find many cases that you are not sure whether you talk with an artificial intelligence agent or a human being. But the ability to really develop what I call artificial human intelligence, meaning emotion, subtext, humor, irony, it's very hard to compute, and it's very hard to believe that a program could actually develop some of these aspects. Some of them are advancing.
One of the claims I've heard against the speech engines, ChatGPT, et cetera, is that much of what they do is essentially is applying thought or something that was written by a human originally. Essentially, it's more a plagiarism bot than it is an original thought bot.
Right now, the ChatGPT are based on what we call probabilistic principles. So a lot of the decision how to construct the sentence is based on the probability that words, sentences are associated together with respect to some topic and so on. On the other hand, you still see, in many cases, some connections that are quite surprising. But the idea is that if AI can help you really increase resources, then eventually, it can create a better society.
As the future of AI and technology unfolds, one thing remains clear. Irad and his students are dedicated to harnessing it to shape a safer and better world.
I will continue to work on that, and we'll continue to look for young people. We have an amazing body of students. In this process, I learn more from my students than the opposite. So I think that
That's a good thing.
as long as I can do it, I will do it.
Today we have a special guest, Dr. Roy Cezana. Dr. Roy is a research futurist, did I say it right?
Yes, quite right. Futurist it is.
Great honor having you with us.
Nice to be here.
Can you tell us what it means? It's such a big title.
Sure. So, as it turns out, decision makers are too caught up with the present to think about the future. And that's why they need people like us to think about the future, to consider the opportunities, to consider the challenges and the threats that the future holds in store for us. And we're developing scenarios, we're developing strategies so that the decision makers can make good of the opportunities and avoid the threats as much as possible.
What role Israel has in AI?
That's a great question. I want to focus on companies in Israel that are deep into the field of AI and which I really like. The first one is called AI21 Labs. They have an AI model that can understand human language and human speech, human text, and can rephrase it for you. Suddenly, everybody can write as if they were Shakespeare. The other company that I really admire in Israel is called DID. And what they're doing, they're using this brain in the machine magic to create avatars. So let's say that you want to interview someone on TV, but you don't like your face. Okay, what happens is that you can go to DID, but you can actually pick an avatar that looks completely real. And this avatar shows up on the screen. You can tell it what to say, and it will say it in a natural tone of voice.
Dr. Roy,
Yeah.
that scares me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but people are watching around the world, people who are Bible believers, who believe that man was created in the image of God, and now we're going to lean on a computer that will write for us, that will talk to us. It's a bit scary.
I want to share a secret with you. We're all scared. But of course, then we should channel this worry towards actually making the world a better place. The first thing that people are usually worried about is that AI will take away their jobs. A recent report by Goldman Sachs actually shows that approximately 300 million jobs are going to be affected this decade because of AI. People like accountants, lawyers, writers, they are all going to find their work impacted. Throughout the last 250 years of the Industrial Revolution, whenever a technology came into the picture, people did lose their jobs. Suddenly, you didn't need carriage drivers because we had cars. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So we all need to upskill ourselves. We all need to learn about AI. Human beings, we are going to be assisted by AI, but we're still the masters. We still need to tell it what to do and how to work with these machines. Let me talk with you about the future in 5 to 10 years from now. Some of us will actually be able to drive autonomous cars, fully autonomous cars, and that technology, which is obviously AI, a car that responds as if it were a human driver, comes from Israel. Parts of it come from Mobileye in Israel.
Israeli company, yeah.
Israeli company, absolutely. Yet another thing is that of healthcare. You'll be able to sit in front of the computer and connect to an AI engine that will give you a good diagnosis about your illness. So some of that will come from Israel as well, because we have one of the most developed healthcare systems in the world. It is highly digitized, everything is being recorded, and medical insurance companies are actually training AIs on patients' medical data.
We have people watching us from all over the world, people who love Israel, by the way, and are very excited to hear about things that are coming from Israel. You have a message for them?
Absolutely. Don't be afraid of technology, but learn how to use it. Learn how to upskill yourself. I think we can all get better at our jobs and become better people if we just know how to use the technological tools that are in place for us. And,
Amazing. Dr. Roy, thank you very, very much. What a great honor having you. And to you, our friends, like Dr. Roy said, don't be afraid. Technology is always going to excel. We have to continue and trust and do what God has called you to do.
We're on our way to meet with Percepto, who are one of the leading autonomous drone technology companies in the world. They're in the center of Israel, and they've been exporting for several years technology that helps oil and gas companies monitor their facilities. Hey, Dol.
Hi.
So this is the famous drone.
It is.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Let's go see the gear.
Follow me.
What is Percepto, and who uses this equipment that you've created?
Percepto is an Israeli startup company. We are enabling companies to harness robotics and AI together to automate their inspection and monitoring. If you think about an oil and gas company that have hundreds of miles of pipeline and have very complex facilities like refineries, today, even inspecting it for a leak or a corrosion is done by people walking around in routines. Now you have a fleet of drones operating autonomously using AI. They are getting reports that indicates if they have an issue that they need to attend to in terms of their assets.
But this is what? This is completely autonomous always, or at times you have human supervision or intervention?
At any given point, a user can log into the drone, see what it sees, control it. But the basic usage of it is that the drone operates without any human intervention. People are not seeing the work the drone is doing on a daily basis and only getting the report, the data the drone collected, and the AI is indicating whatever makes sense for a human to take a look at.
Monitoring facilities from high above, there is no room for error when ensuring Percepto's drones stay at the top of their game.
This is our R&D and QA center.
Okay.
Here we test everything before it goes out.
This isn't some toy that can make mistakes.
Definitely not a toy.
There's no room for error here.
This is a 10-kilogram drone.
Yeah.
If it falls on someone's head or on any equipment that we fly on, it's a major disaster. We need to make sure it's 100% bulletproof.
The latest addition to the Perceptor surveillance team is Spot. Yes, you heard right, Spot.
This is not at all a drone?
No.
Hello, buddy.
We might bite, so be careful.
Well, that's why I stayed away from the mouth. I went for the head.
The Boston Dynamics Spot is part of our need to move forward from only having drones into completely owning a site robotically. So we're connecting our Percepto Core, which what you see here, to different kinds of sensors that can walk around, fly around, so that we can collect data on an ongoing basis on the site. So think about closed site that has a drone that flies around, collects information from the air. You have different kinds of spots or wheeled rovers that can collect information that is on the ground, much more detailed, and also fixed cameras.
So you're basically creating a system that completely removes humans from the equation, physically speaking.
I want to get to a place where we don't endanger people. The most important part here is that people that are working in these sites are not meant to be surveyors. Yeah. They're technicians. They're come to fix things. Yeah. We'll do the surveying. We'll look for the faults, but they do the work, right?
Got it.
And that's how we work together, reducing their risk and making sure the site is much more efficient.
The reason that Israel has such a great tech talent, that's a result of years of the defense involvement and the high-tech industry involvement. The ecosystem here is amazing. It has almost no equivalent other than Silicon Valley. And people are realizing that every year again, and they want to be part of that, and they want to use that for their business.
I'm hoping to see these systems spread out in more and more countries. I think that's the best blessing I can give you to end this interview.
I'll take that, and I hope so too.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.